Hey guys, welcome back to JMC Maths channel. In this video, I'll be doing some multiple choice questions that will definitely help you for your next maths exam. Stay tuned. Let's look at our first question. So here we have negative 3 all square plus negative 2 all square is equal to. So again, we need to remember what we mean by squaring negative numbers. So if I square a negative number, I'll get a positive result because a negative times a negative gives a positive. So if I square negative 3, what I'm saying is that negative 3 times negative 3, and that should give me a positive 9. I write back my plus sign there, and then I'm doing a negative 2 times a negative 2. That gives me a positive 4. And now I'm adding 9 plus 4, that's equal to 13, which therefore means my answer is C. A question like this, you should be able to do it in your head once you're comfortable working with square numbers. Let's have a look at question 2. What number when added to 1 and 1/3 gives 2? There are some questions that you could ask yourself in your head. You could even visualize this question without even writing it down. Alright, so the first question, which therefore means you need to put your thinking cap on. How many 1/3 make 1 whole? Would agree that there are 3 1/3 in 1 whole. Another question, how many more 1/3 do you need to make 2? Would agree that we have 1 whole and 1/3, which therefore means that we need to make another whole in order to get to 2. So would agree then that we need 2 more 1/3 in order to make 2 wholes. Okay, so another way that you could answer the same question, you could do 2 take away 1 and 1/3. You could work that out, and you'd also get 2/3. So the answer for this question is B, 2/3. Let's have a look at our third example. Anne and Betty shared a sum of money in the ratio 2:3. If Anne received $60 less than Betty, what was the total amount of money shared? Okay, so the first thing that I'll do is to highlight key information in the question. The ratio for Anne and Betty is 2:3. I'll highlight that. Also, we know that Anne received $60 less than Betty. I'll highlight that as well. I'll be using bar models to explain this question, so please put your thinking cap on. It will definitely help you. Alright, so we know that Anne and Betty, Anne received 2 shares and Betty received 3 shares. Looking clearly at the bar model, you can definitely see that Betty received 1 share more than Anne, and we also know that Anne received $60 less than Betty, which therefore means that Betty must have received $60 more than Anne. So it therefore means that additional share for Betty must be $60. So if we know that 1 share is $60, it therefore means that all the other shares must be $60 as well. So that's $60, that's $60, that's $60, that's $60. And in total, we have 5 shares, which therefore means that all I need to do now is to multiply 5 times 60 to find out the total amount of money shared. So that's 60 times 5 or 5 times 60, same thing, and that's equal to $300. So we can agree that our answer is D. Let's have a look at question 4. 2 take away negative 8 plus negative 3. We can rewrite this as 2 plus 8 minus 3. We know that 2 plus 8 is equal to 10, and that's a minus 3, which is equal to 7. So our answer is C. Now let's have a look at question 5. A test was marked out of 80. A boy scored 60% of the marks on the test. How many marks did he score? Again, if the test is marked out of 80, it therefore means that the 80 marks represent 100%. We know that the boy scored 60% of the marks on the test, so it therefore means we want to find out how many marks. Given that we know that the test is marked out of 80, and we know that that represents 100%, it therefore means it's easy for us to work out 10%. So if I divide the 100% by 10, that will give me 10%. So it therefore means if I divide the 80 marks by 10 as well, that would give me what the 10% represents. So 80 divided by 10, that gives me 8 marks. So 10% is equal to 8 marks, which therefore means I can go ahead and work out 60%. If I multiply the 10% by 6, that will give me 60%, which therefore means I can also multiply the 8 marks by 6, and that would give me what the 60% represents. So 8 times 6, that's equal to 48 marks, which therefore means my answer is B. Now let's have a look at question 6. If 30% of a number is 45, what is 4/5 of the number? Key thing to highlight here is that 30% of the number is 45, and then I'm trying to find what is 4/5 of the number. 4/5 as a percentage, I can write it as 80%. That's the equivalent for it, and I think it's quite useful for you to know that as well. I also know that 30% is equal to 45, which therefore means that it's quite easy for me to work out 10%. So if I divide 30% by 3, that will give me 10%, which therefore means I can also divide the 45 by 3, and that will give me what the 10% represent. So 45 divided by 3, that's equal to 15. Now I know what 10% represents. It therefore means I can easily work out 80%. If I multiply that 10% now by 8, that will give me the 80%, which therefore means I can also multiply the 15 by 8, and that will give me what the 80% represents. So 15 times 8, that's equal to 120, which therefore means that 80% is equal to 120, which means that my answer is B. Now let's have a look at question 7. What is the value of the digit 2 in the number 48.621? Again, you should realize that the first thing to do is to identify the digit that we're focusing on, which is 2 in this case. Also, I want you to notice that that 2 is to the right of your decimal point, which therefore means that it is a fraction. It's less than 1, which therefore means that right away we know that C cannot be your answer, D cannot be your answer. So we could cross those two out. Also, it therefore means that we're left between A and B to choose from. Again, just a quick recap on our place value chart. Looking carefully at our place value chart, it therefore means that the second digit to the right of your decimal point must be in the hundredths place, which therefore means that all we need to do now is to write that 2 over 100, which therefore means that our answer is A. So the value of the digit 2 in this case would have been 200ths. And that's it for question 7. Let's have a look at question 8. So the highest common factor of 12, 15, and 60 is, let's recall what we mean by factor. So a factor, it divides a number completely without leaving any remainder. So again, we can eliminate some of the answers that we're given. We can agree that 12 will not work because 12 is not a factor of 15. We can also agree that 60 will not work because 60 is not a factor of 12 or 15. Which therefore means we're left between A and B to choose from. So 1 is a factor of any number, which therefore means we just need to test to see if 3 is the highest common factor of 12, 15, and 60. So we'll use the divisibility rule for 3. So if the sum of the digits of a number is divisible by 3, then the number is divisible by 3. So what we'll do is just add the digits of 12. 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. Which therefore means that 12 is divisible by 3. And then we add the digits of 15, that's 1 plus 5 is equal to 6. 6 is divisible by 3, which therefore means the number 15 is also divisible by 3. And finally, we add the digits of 60, that's 6 plus 0 equals 6. 6 is divisible by 3, hence therefore means 60 is also divisible by 3, which therefore means our answer is B. Let's now have a look at question 9. So we have 2/3 all square is the same as. Just to let you know, that square indicates that we need to square both the numerator and the denominator. So we're doing a 2 times 2 as well as a 3 times 3. Okay, so 2 times 2 is equal to 4. And 3 times 3 is equal to 9. So our final answer is equal to 4/9, which means that our answer is D. Let's now have a look at our final question, question 10. So we have 0.45 written as a common fraction in its simplest form is, so our first step is to rewrite that 0.45 as a fraction. So we would write it as 45 over 100. But they ask you for it in its simplest form, which therefore means we need to find the highest common factor of 45 and 100. And in this case, that's 5. So we'll be dividing the numerator and the denominator by 5. So we write 45 divided by 5, and then that's 100 divided by 5. And that's equal to 9 over 20, which therefore means our answer for this question is A. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell so that you're notified when I post new videos. Like and share this video. Thanks for watching, guys.